Today's astrology feels fast-moving mentally, emotionally revealing, and surprisingly decisive underneath the surface. We're in one of those transitional energetic spaces where something is clearly shifting, even if not everything has fully arrived yet. There's movement building, conversations building, awareness building, and for many people, this day may feel like the moment where things start becoming harder to ignore. Because today's energy carries a very strong theme of realization, not just emotionally, but mentally. And once clarity arrives, it becomes difficult to return to old perspectives, old excuses, or old versions of yourself. Let's talk about it. The Sun, Mercury, and Uranus in early Gemini. The biggest energy we're working with right now is this growing Gemini influence. The Sun has recently entered Gemini, and now we also have Mercury and Uranus there as well. This creates a very mentally active atmosphere. Fast thoughts, fast realizations, fast conversations, fast changes. You may notice your mind moving quicker today. You may feel more curious, more restless, or more mentally stimulated than usual. But Uranus being involved means this isn't just ordinary Gemini energy. This is breakthrough energy, sudden awareness, unexpected conversations, surprising news. A shift in perspective that changes how you see something completely. For some people, this may look like finally understanding a situation clearly. For others, it may feel like an internal awakening where your priorities suddenly begin changing. Gemini energy wants movement. It wants information. It wants honesty. And Uranus disrupts anything stagnant. So today may bring moments where something clicks unexpectedly. A truth becomes obvious. A pattern becomes undeniable. Or you realize you've outgrown a certain mindset entirely. There's also a strong theme today around communication. Conversations matter. Words carry weight. And people may be more impulsive with speaking what's been on their minds. This energy can absolutely bring important insight, but it can also create overstimulation if you're absorbing too much at once. Be mindful of mental burnout today. Not everything needs an immediate answer. Not every thought needs to become a decision. Allow information to settle before reacting impulsively. Venus in Cancer, emotional truth beneath the noise. Even with all this Gemini mental activity, Venus in Cancer continues grounding the emotional tone underneath everything. And this creates an interesting contrast, because while Gemini wants movement and mental stimulation, Cancer wants emotional honesty. Cancer wants sincerity, depth, safety, connection. So today may feel emotionally layered. You may notice conversations becoming more vulnerable than expected, or realizing that beneath surface-level interactions, deeper feelings are trying to emerge. Venus in Cancer is asking us to stop intellectualizing emotions long enough to actually feel them. And with all this Gemini activity, many people may suddenly become aware of emotions they've been avoiding through distraction, overthinking, or staying busy. There's also strong relationship energy here. Some connections may deepen through honesty. Others may reveal emotional inconsistencies that can no longer be ignored. Pay attention to what feels emotionally nourishing versus emotionally draining today. Your nervous system knows the difference before your mind fully catches up. This transit is teaching us that emotional alignment matters just as much as mental compatibility. And some people may realize today that they've been trying to logic their way through feelings that actually require emotional honesty instead. Mars in Aries is adding another layer of momentum to today. This energy wants movement, action, initiative, courage. And after periods of emotional reflection or uncertainty, many people may suddenly feel ready to move forward again. There's motivation returning, confidence rebuilding, a stronger desire to stop hesitating and start acting. But Mars in Aries can also create impatience, especially combined with Gemini energy. People may speak too quickly, react too quickly, or make impulsive decisions simply because they're tired of sitting in uncertainty. So today asks for conscious action, not reactive action. There's a difference between clarity and urgency. You do not need to force outcomes today, but you are being encouraged to trust where your instincts are guiding you now, especially if something has been lingering unresolved for a while. This energy favors honesty, leadership, bold decisions, and initiating change. But it works best when your actions are aligned emotionally, not just driven by temporary frustration. The moon in Leo adds emotional intensity and visibility to the day. Leo energy wants authenticity, expression, recognition, and emotional honesty. People may feel more sensitive to attention, validation, appreciation, or being emotionally acknowledged. There's a strong desire today to feel seen, not superficially, but genuinely. And because Leo energy is expressive, emotions may feel bigger or harder to hide. What's in the heart tends to reveal itself eventually under a Leo moon. This is also beautiful energy for creativity, confidence, content creation, self-expression, and reconnecting with joy. But it can also highlight ego wounds if people feel ignored, dismissed, or emotionally overlooked. The healthiest use of this energy is allowing yourself to express authentically without needing external validation to confirm your worth. There's a reminder today that confidence grows when you stop abandoning your own truth for approval. The overall energy feels like a turning point mentally and emotionally, not necessarily because external events suddenly change overnight, but because your perspective may. And once perspective changes, everything else begins shifting afterward. Some people are realizing what they truly want. Some are realizing what no longer aligns. Some are recognizing where fear has been delaying necessary change. And others are finally feeling mentally ready to move towards something new. This is transitional energy, movement energy, awakening energy. But underneath it all is a very important lesson from Venus in Cancer. Don't move so quickly that you disconnect from yourself emotionally. Your intuition matters just as much as your logic right now. And the choices that create lasting fulfillment will be the ones aligned with both. Thank you for tuning in to Daily Astro. And remember, sometimes your life changes not because the world suddenly becomes different, but because you finally begin seeing yourself, your path, and your truth more clearly than before.